The consequences of the war are felt at every stage of the agricultural process. London at midnight on September 25. Russian drones struck grain infrastructure at a Ukrainian river port. People waiting for the nearby ferry started running for their lives when the buildings started to catch fire. This has led Ukraine's crop production 2023-2024 being predicted be at its lowest level in more than a decade, according United States Department Agriculture. This means that consequences of war Ukraine are felt at every step agricultural process, from farm to table. As soon as Russian troops were pushed back from the lands surrounding Kiev in March 2022, farmers in the region rushed back to save their crops. But even now, more than a year and a half later, farmers are still feeling the consequences of the brief but violent occupation. Dmytro Skornyakov is the CEO of Ukrainian agricultural company Harvest. When he and his workers returned to their fields, they found aired-out silos, ruined equipment, and thousands of acres of explosive mines on their land. A destroyed Harvest truck a field in Kiev region as workers returned to the farm after Russian invasion 2022. It possible remove mines. But this process is long and arduous for experts in the country. Thousands acres of agricultural land are still waiting to be cleared mines. Especially since their priority remove mines from towns and villages, not from agricultural land. Meanwhile, in the areas available to Harvest, the growth is now determined entirely by the economics of logistics. The cost transporting grain out of the country is so high and has increased so rapidly that it no longer makes economic sense to grow cheap crops such as corn and winter wheat. The staples Ukrainian agriculture. We are currently growing more sunflowers than normal, more soy than normal, and significantly less corn and wheat, Skornyakov told ABC News. But even these crops are more expensive to produce than usual since the start of the war. They are now grown in smaller quantities and take longer to transport out of the country. So every step we take now is 2 or 3 times more expensive than before the war, Skornyakov continued. A Harvest employee stands next to a rocket dug from a field near the front line in the Donetsk region. Analyst Michael Lee, director of Green Square Agro Consulting, says cash flow is one of the biggest problems facing Ukrainian farmers, which means some farmers have no choice but to grow cheaper crops. They just need to make some money, Lee told ABC News. Despite these challenges, Lee says farmers still manage to get results. There is grain production in the Black Sea. There are only other problems such as logistics and supply. Exit from the country, Lee said. Port cities from her home in Tulcea, Romania. Karina Davidoff can see explosions that regularly shake the Ukrainian city of Ismail, just across street from where she lives. We are used to war being close, with drones lighting up tea.